You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's America's Got Talent After Show.
Hello!
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I didn't want dead air.
Put the hand up.
I was gonna go early.
Punch, punch, punch. Punching air. Punch. Punching air.
If this isn't motivation.
Punching air.
I know. I want to go work out right now.
Punching air.
Let the beat drop.
Hello, officially, and welcome to another episode of AfterBuzz TV, Three's Company. I am your host, Kaori Taki. With me, as always, are Wilt Chamberlain and Barbara Streisand.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Wilt Chamberlain. I'm actually dead, but somehow I resurrected myself just for this show. So for you fans.
But what are our real names?
Guys, thank you so much for joining AfterBuzz TV for another episode of America's Got Talent. I am Daniel Weiss, as always. With me is Kevin John and Branden James. Hello.
I'm filling in for Carrie. Where is Carrie, by the way? She's been gone for
Good
weeks.
question. I think
she
Kaori
been?
is in Vegas on business.
Yes.
So
You are getting an all-male review this week, and you know what happens in male reviews at the end. We might take our shirts off. That's all
We
I'm
might
saying.
not.
yeah, they may.
might.
I may. If I took my shirt off, you guys would send in donations to me. So
To feed you?
yes, exactly. Exactly.
You actually you eat all the time.
I do eat a lot, but I have a very high metabolism rate.
Right. You eat your foot a lot
I do.
because you put your foot in your mouth.
I do sometimes, but I'm learning how to do that. Now, speaking of putting food in your body and system, this girl right here clearly puts the best food in her body, as you can
Boom.
see. Boom shot. I'm not covering up her abs, right? I remember that from last time.
Yeah.
No, but
As-
you're also not describing what you're talking about for the podcast listeners.
So, Daniel, take it away and let them know what they're talking about.
Guys, if you want the every girl body, and you don't have to be a lady to get the every girl body, you can be a dude. Maybe you just want to wear that heart-shaped bikini this summer. Maybe you just want to let it all out there. Guys, check out Maria Menounos' book, The Everyday Girl's Guide to Eating, Looking Good, and Other Things that her book is titled.
Yes, and it's very good. I mean, she breaks down your workout regimen, your diet, and how you can live that prosperous, nutritious, fruitful life that you've always wanted to live. She has all the keys to that in this book. She may even
And look like Suzanne Summers.
Of course.
exactly, because we all want to look like Suzanne Summers, correct?
I do.
Or Daniel Weiss.
Well, what's the difference?
A lot. All right.
Let's get into it, Schulster.
You guys are awkward. I'm gonna just.
Wait.
I'll be right back.
No, Branden.
Wait, Branden, where you going, dude?
Physical bits on
Wow.
podcasts.
Okay. All right.
yeah.
I'll come back. Let's talk about this show, shall we?
Yes,
Yeah,
please
Okay.
come back.
All right.
Please come back
We
so
lost
your viewers
Branden.
can see you.
Oh, this is awkward.
Guys,
That is very...
we had a special treat of having this show play on Sunday, and then as a surprise, they re-aired the same show tonight. So you may have watched it Sunday, you may have watched it tonight, but what you didn't do is listen to this podcast or watch this podcast about it. So we're going to tell you about it. Let's jump right in. The first act that we had tonight, we're going to go a little bit of out of order, but it doesn't matter. So the first act we're going to talk about right now is Psychic Divas of New York. Two ladies that come out, they say they're psychics, and they just start saying things that maybe they can back up, maybe they can't. One of the things they said is Mel B is pregnant again. So I guess we'll find out in a few months if they're psychic or not. But they
You
won't
think
be
it's
on the
Eddie
show by
Murphy's
then.
baby.
Well, he already
Again?
did. He again. I don't know. He's
I mean, those ladies seem like they know what they were talking about.
that is true. So if Mel B is pregnant, let's go around real quick and say who we think the dad is. Daniel, go.
I think that it's Buzz Aldrin.
Buzz Aldrin.
Yep.
Who's that?
I have no idea.
What?
I don't know. Educate us.
You can find them on Hey Kevin John at Hey Kevin John
There's
and
more
at
than one Buzz Aldrin.
Brent.
Find them. Oh,
Whatever.
I see what
No,
you're
if
saying.
you want to
Oh, you're talking about
complain
the
about
dads.
the ignorance in the room, Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk on the moon.
And so who was the first man?
Neil
Neil Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Just want to make sure you
Wait,
guys knew
Kevin,
that.
aren't you a teacher?
Hey, I didn't say that I teach history, okay? Or astrology
Maybe
or any
your
of that.
teaching
So,
career should be history.
so
Let's move on.
But
please.
anyway, the Psychic Divas of New York, they also said that Howard wanted to change the world since he was 8 years old.
Right, and that's probably not true, especially if you watched his movie Private Parts.
Right, he doesn't
so this is my
change.
question. If they were indeed psychic, how come they did not see themselves coming on the show and sucking
And getting X's.
and getting X's? Yes,
Right.
that's the $1 million question.
Did you guys notice how many cuts there were in the filming of that segment?
Too many.
500,000. It was clearly just made for hype.
Yeah.
Right, of course.
All right,
And
so moving on.
let's move on. There was a magician. We didn't get his name. It was
Desmond,
pretty quick.
I think it was.
No, Desmond was the ghost helping him.
Yeah.
So he had a ghost helping him. So he called Heidi on stage, had her hold an empty
Pitcher. A glass pitcher.
glass pitcher, and then he said, "Everybody, look at her shoulder. There might be an orb." There wasn't, but he put his hand above the pitcher, and it shattered.
And it was pretty cool the way it happened. It was a nice effect. I wasn't expecting it. I totally got a Vanna White vibe from Heidi Klum. She
Oh,
just
yes.
reminded me of Vanna White standing up there.
All the cocaine.
I like the fact that they're utilizing the judges a lot, but I just hope they don't do it too much.
Right,
Use
then
them
they're
as
going to be in
props.
every
Yeah, they're
act.
like in every act now.
Yeah,
Or
speaking of
Nick
that,
Cannon.
I'm getting sick of them always bringing Nick Cannon out there as well
Right.
into the thing. It's like, okay, we get it. I know you guys are trying to get favor with the judges and the host, whatnot, so you can get moved. But it's starting to get old, lame, and it's like, okay, do your act the way it would be done in Vegas. In Vegas, you're not going to have Heidi come up on
Right.
stage or Nick Cannon come up on stage. So I think that's just a annoying ploy. But at any rate, I did enjoy I guess you could say the unexpectedness of it, at first when he was like, oh, abracadabra, it's gonna, whatever. I thought it was just bombing. And when it did shatter, I was not expecting that. So I thought it was pretty dope, pretty unpredictable.
Yeah, it was cool. What was there something about an orb on her shoulder?
Yeah, so he was saying that Desmond is this ghost that's going to help him out, and that if you look at there might be an orb to signify he's there or something. And I think that was just a distraction, so that you look at her shoulder and you don't see what he's doing with the glass, because he put his hand over it, and I'm thinking maybe he dropped a ball bearing or something quick to shatter the jug, but I still didn't see it, so it was cool to me.
Hashtag Desmond. It just sounds like a
Right.
grown-up who never let go of his childhood friend. I know
Right.
it's a little weird. A little creepy.
That's true.
That's all
Drop
I'm
Dead
gonna say.
Desmond.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
mean,
sounds like
my
the name of
childhood-
actual TV show.
Or a movie called Drop Dead Fred from the 90s.
Yeah. Or Drop Dead Diva.
Or Drop Dead Fred from the 90s, a movie.
Yeah.
You guys know nothing.
Or Freddie Got
Moving
Fingered.
on.
All right.
So guess what? We had another child singer.
Oh my
Imagine
gosh.
that. That's
that
never
was so
happened
surprising. We
before.
brought
Mara
out
Justine.
Yes, she's an 11-year-old singer, and I will say she was really good. Period.
She was kind of a little firecracker. Like, she picked that big song, and I'm telling you, I'm not going from Dreamgirls, and she worked the stage and had so much confidence.
I'm gonna say
Good for
this:
that.
if you pick a song like "Am I Telling You," you better blow. I mean, that's one of those songs. If you pick it, there's no in between, or you kind of can do it well. You have to be exceptional on that.
It's
and the
true,
fact
it's true.
that she's 11 years old and she was able to have the vocal range and maturity to nail that song was really impressive. And I'm not a fan of children singers.
Right.
So I give this woman all the props and credit. She did. Somewhere Jennifer Hudson is like, damn, she upstaged my song on that. So,
Right. I will say, put 11-year-old aside, if I just listened to her on the radio, she's a great singer. My problem, again, like I said last week, is I don't watch this show for singers. She was an incredible singer, but to me, that's no longer this undiscovered talent.
You sound like Howie and Howard. They say that all the time.
Right. Well, I agree with them. And they're both millionaire comedian. So, we got that in common. Next, we have my favorite act of the night. I will say, hands down, Juan Carlos, who came out, and that he's not going to be very good. And he comes out in this shimmering red jumpsuit, and he has rollerblades on. And he just does this rollerblade dance. And to me, it was brilliant because it's America's Got Talent. And his talent is not rollerblade dancing. His talent is making you laugh.
It's comedy.
And he did.
Comedy act, yeah.
I think he did a great job, and they voted him yes.
He
and
won
he
over
went
the
through.
audience immediately.
Right.
But it was funny because his limbs were they were like spasming.
Right.
I don't know what was going on, and he didn't either. And that was
right. That's
the
what was
comedic
great
bit,
about it.
yeah.
And they said, "Do you have a wife?" And he said, "I love my life." No, he knows what they said, but he just spun it.
Right.
I give him an A for comedy, a B for creativity, and a C for talent. And that averages out to a B, which is pretty darn good. So,
look who knows something now.
Exactly. Yeah, the teacher.
Oh,
so
he
with
must
that
have
being
taught math, okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Gotcha, okay.
Calculus. What? So, anyways, I like the fact, kind of like I was telling Daniel earlier. I like the fact when you have artists like the Christoph brothers from last year that are talented, but they can incorporate comedy into it, because a lot of these acts that you see are very serious. I mean, because they need to be serious if you're singing or whatever, depending on what your talent is. So it's always good to see these comic relief type of acts just to kind of loosen up the fill. You know what I mean? Just gives you some variety there. So
I agree.
like,
Yeah, I thought it was great. So next we're going to talk about Emil and Daniel, or
Those the electric cello players?
I don't know. Yes.
They were cool.
Yes, they were great.
Were they twins or something?
I think they were brothers.
They were twinsies.
Yeah.
They were like dressed alike.
Well, I think one was 13, one was 16.
Right.
Oh,
so,
okay.
If they were twins, they came out 3 years apart.
It
could
happens
happen.
sometimes.
I guess it can. Who knows?
But I mean, they already seemed like an opening act for someone, and like the way that they were breaking strings and like they were showmen. I just don't know who the old man crying on the side was.
I think it was either their father or grandfather. I will say this, because we thought that, I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit. We thought that Sunday night show was different. So we went through it really quick to find the acts that we wanted to talk about and highlight, and then it turned out that it was tonight's show. So
let's talk about that for 1 second, because what happened was NBC created a special night of America's Got Talent on Sunday in order to thwart the ratings for ABC's new show, Rising Star. And to me, it seems like the market is oversaturated with all of these kinds of shows. But
for real, I didn't know there was another singing show on TV.
There's just one.
Imagine that. There's like
wow, I had no idea.
Or twice. There's so many of them. I feel like at some point, are they going to die out?
It's the fad now.
Do you think they're going to die out?
I think so.
When you look at the ratings, not to go off subject, but if you look at the ratings of singing shows on television within the last 10 years, from The Voice to the American Idol, which was like the king of them all, and all these other shows, I mean, they realize it's a formula. Fans love tuning in to those particular kinds of shows, so you understand why these networks are going with them. But I do agree with you that eventually it is going to die out.
But this show is going 8 seasons strong. #1 rated show of the summer consistently.
Oh, America's Got Talent? Mm-hmm. Well, that's because it's not just a singing show. You know, it incorporates everything, and I think that's what kind of keeps viewers on the edge of their seat, because you don't.
Surprising to me that another network hasn't decided to create a competing variety show.
Right, that is.
Well, most networks usually just phone in the summer, meaning they'll just throw reruns up on there or things of that kind of sort. But now you're starting to see a little difference. So I wouldn't be surprised if next summer there was a show to directly compete with America's Got Talent, which I guess is supposed to be this singing show. What is it called? The
Rising Star.
The Rising Star. Well, the star apparently was not risen.
It did not rise.
It did not rise at all.
It sank.
Right. Maybe next year it'll be called the Resurrected Star.
Right. Well,
falling star.
I like that.
I like that one.
If they do have a competing show like this next year, you will see an AfterBuzz hosted show hosted by John Kevin, Waniel Dice, and Brando Jameson. So you can look forward to that.
Those are our names in Pig Latin right there.
And Takore Kaki.
But anyhow, AGT did set out and accomplish what they meant to, because their ratings, I looked it up on Nielsen, were double what Rising Star was. So they won the night. And then they duped us because we thought tonight was a new episode, and it was actually just a repeat.
Exactly. So they win on every case.
They double win.
So let's go back into it. Let's talk about Arlo, our man that brings out some spiders.
Hold on real quick.
Okay.
I just want to get back to the Cello Brothers for a second.
Great.
The
Rewind.
Yeah, we're just gonna rewind and call that. I have no idea what language that was or gibberish.
Backwards.
It was backwards.
I'm sorry, I don't speak backwards. I speak forwards.
Kevin's
Okay.
a little slow. It's fine.
I speak forward.
So, forget both of you guys, by the way. You can tell we love each other
We
so
had
much
like
here.
17 cans of sugar before
I
the
do.
show tonight.
Did I have 17 cans?
Yeah, you had like a Sprite and a Coke and a Dr. Pepper and a grape soda. You had
So I guess
many
that
things.
explains why I'm so laid back right now. So anyways, with the Cello Brothers, one thing I do want to say, this is something that when I watch kids, something that I always look for because like we were talking earlier, kids are usually giving me a gimme pass because they're young and they're cute. One thing about kids that you can distinguish from true kid artists and performers from others is their comfortability on stage, meaning their presence. Do they have stage presence? And are they able to hold their own up there? Because sometimes you have a cute kid up there, but they have no idea how to, perform in front of a crowd. And I want to say with these Cello Brothers, they were fearless up there. It was like, they were comfortable. It was like they're in the living room of their home playing it. And that to me is really impressive when you get to kids because a lot of kids do not have that, that gift to just be able to be comfortable on stage like that.
It differentiates the kids that were actually born to do this as opposed to the ones. Yeah.
True. You can learn that stage presence, but not at a young age if you don't have any experience.
Unless you had like some crazy stage mom who was like from 6 months, you're going to be a cello player.
Well, that's what you do.
Get up and you cello.
Yeah, exactly. Which some moms are like,
That's very
My
true.
mom
I've
used to
met
come in my room with a piano every morning saying, you're going to play this.
My mom loved me, so all right. Arlo.
That was a joke, obviously.
Okay, we had
My mom came in with a drum set.
The one voice children's choir, which was actually comprised of 127 kids.
Oh my gosh.
Remember them?
I try not to.
It was like so many kids.
How the hell excuse me, but why do you need 75 kids to all sing the same tone? Usually when you have a choir or a chorus, the purpose to have so many people is to bring different levels. There's sopranos, there's altos, there's tenors, there's, deep voice, all of that stuff. But 8,000 kids that all sing, I don't know. I didn't get it. Someone please tell me.
I don't know. I mean, I'm excited on one idea of having, seeing kids so excited about music and up there like singing their hearts out and keeping music alive. Like that's inspiring to me. But there's so many kids acts, and this particular episode had so many kid acts in it.
And see, another thing I look for, especially with kids, is like, what are they doing up there that no other kid can do? I think I can go to any of the schools that I teach at and grab, 100 fourth graders or fifth graders and get them
you
all
might
to
get arrested for doing that.
That's
You got a laugh from inside.
insert laugh there.
I got a good booth laugh.
He did got a great booth laugh. You're right. And actually I would not get arrested because I have my badge which says I'm certified to work on that campus and district. So anyways, my thing is if you just round up a bunch of kids, I don't see how if you were to get 100 kids, fourth graders to do it, how that would differentiate from these kids that did it. I don't see any distinction. It's the same thing. So.
Children's choirs are no new thing on the show. We've seen them
Right.
Shakalaka.
season after season. But to break up the kids, we had the woman who created regenerative plant music.
Oh, she was just fantastically terrible. She came out and she has all of these plants and I think maybe she was making them make sounds, but I couldn't really tell.
I couldn't hear the music over the booing.
Right. There was booing, and I think there was a backing track. I couldn't even tell. I don't know what she was doing. She didn't go through. And then, of course, like most of the people afterwards, she just said, I don't think they got it.
Yeah, what they...
got it.
Yeah.
I don't know if she gets it.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think we need to be so critical of her. I mean, at the end of the day... At the end of the day, she was creative and she tried something that we had not seen on AGT before. And it's hard to do an act that is yet to be done on AGT because there's been so many. So you got to respect her creativity. Maybe her execution was a little poor.
Right.
But creativity was there.
She tried.
All right.
I guess.
I'll see the glass half full. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it.
Give her A for effort. All right?
But
Right.
she was pretty kooky.
She was kooky.
Yeah.
But
Kooky.
let's move on to another child act, Brendan James. Branden's illegitimate child.
Yeah, how'd you know? Oh,
I
yeah.
can see the resemblance and the last
I
name.
thought I covered that up.
Well, you know,
you took the paternity
But,
test, said you were the father. I think Maury affirmed that.
you
Maury
are the
Povich,
father.
1999.
So Brendan
Came out in
James,
the wash.
Yeah.
Brendan James is a knife thrower. He's a small child, and he comes out with his dad, and he starts throwing knives at his dad and at balloons that his dad's holding and with his mouth. And I thought it was really cool. Again, if it was just a knife thrower, it'd be cool, but we've seen it. But the fact that it is a kid, and that's another thing, that's not a skill you're born with. You can be a really good singer from birth. You could be just a really good dancer, but being a knife thrower, I feel, is a tough skill to learn, especially as a child. So I thought it was really cool, and I'm very interested in what's next.
I mean, call me a little old-fashioned.
You're a little
but-
old-fashioned.
I know, but
You're just old.
I am old and old-fashioned. You're right. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. I don't think it is appropriate to glorify violence amongst children. In the wake of everything that's happening, like a shooting every week, most of which happens by young people, I don't think it's cool for like these impressionable kids who are at home watching other kids throw knives at their dad and their sister, and the judge is laughing about it and saying, "Oh, that was cool." I don't think it's cool, and I don't think they should do it, and I don't think that we should be thinking it's like something.
Well, that leads us into our public service announcement. Kids, do not throw knives at home.
not
Knives
do this
are
at home.
dangerous, and we do not condone such behavior or activity. Remember that.
Thank you for that.
And
I do agree
I-
that they had a little bit of, oh, he's been doing this since he was 4, and don't try this at home. But I do agree that they can have more of a public service announcement. I haven't seen on the show at all anything pop up after commercials saying everything on the show is done by professionals. Don't try this at home. So
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, there's a lot of
isn't-
kids out there who might want to pick up a knife and throw it now. Like, seriously, that stuff happens.
It's
Like,
true.
I,
They have a bit
I
of a
understand what you're
responsibility.
saying, but you got to realize, and I'm just playing devil's advocate, but
please.
you have to
we do
realize
every
Great
week.
movie.
it's not AGT's responsibility to raise kids. It's the parents at home that are with those kids to tell them, no, you're not going to pick this up. Yes, understand that media does have a responsibility of some sort because of the influence of it. But at the end of the day, this is entertainment. And
Point,
what they just
Kevin.
presented was entertainment.
You're right.
And-
It is half parenting, but is also. I mean, we glorify this in film, in TV, in video games. There's so much violence out there, and the violence is increasing in this country. Like, there's clearly a huge gun problem. I'm just gonna get political and say it.
Yeah, go ahead.
But,
We have Republicans that are watching.
Yeah.
From
sorry,
my
you're gonna hate me.
cold dead hands.
But I don't know. I just don't think. I don't think it's responsible to do that on a family show.
Yeah, no,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I understand where you're coming from, and I do support you on what you're saying.
But
Thank you, Kevin.
No, I totally support him because as we established already, I work with kids myself, so I know the effects of outside influence and sources of that compel kids to do such things. But at the end of the day, it's a show, it's entertainment. The talent unfortunately happened to be using weapons, but it's kind of like the other kid that was throwing. Now they were cards, so I understand the big difference between throwing cards and throwing knives. Obviously, you could kill somebody with one, but I just think it was more so for entertainment and show, and I do believe that since it's a family show, the families watching this need to let the children know, okay, you're not going to go in your kitchen and get a knife right now and start throwing that.
All right, I can live with that.
let's live with a block of contortionists, shall we?
Oh my god!
Oh my
it was
goodness.
Like 20 in a row.
Starting
Yeah.
with Lena,
There
who
really
came
was.
out by herself, and I felt like maybe they did this strategically. I thought it was a little bit of a problem. She was a contortionist, and she was very good, but Howard Stern said that that's $1 million act, which I disagree, and we all said maybe with other people.
That was Alina. I thought it was Natalie Portman. She
Yes.
looks just like Natalie Portman.
I can kind of see that.
And I know she was probably flexible after Black Swan. But I didn't know Natalie Portman could throw her head and her
Oh, totally.
foot.
Haven't you seen The Professional?
And is that a movie?
No, haven't you seen? Haven't you seen? What is it? Friends with Benefit? Or no, the other one.
One of those two.
One of those. What the other one for Friends with
No
Benefits?
strings attached
No
or
strings
something?
attached. Thank you.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
With Ashton, yeah, she did a lot of that bending and contortionism in that movie
She did.
with Ashton, courtesy of him.
But I think I said that she'd be great on the AGT tour. But
Yes,
I couldn't.
a smaller
I would be exhausted
portion.
watching her for 90 minutes. I think she would be exhausted for doing that for 90 minutes.
Exactly. And by herself, not as great. But then we have, after her, the contortionist girls. There's 4 of them that come out, and they're contorting together, and they make a dragon, and they make other shapes. So that was exactly what we said. With a group, this could be really cool. So to me, they were much better than her. So solo Lena was good. You bring her to the competition in Vegas or wherever they're doing the next rounds, and you put her up against these other girls that have a bigger act and more people, and I don't think it's going to be as good.
Yeah, I clearly think this is something where number of performers completely outweighs doing this, isolated. Like, I think you have to have numbers. It's kind of like if you were to watch a Circus Soleil show and there was just one person out there. It would not benefit or complement the show. You need multiple bodies so you can create those illusions with your bodies and all those weird kind of things that they do. One person doesn't really, give you that full package. So
Have you seen a lot of Cirque du Soleil shows?
yeah, I just came from the Michael Jackson one Circus Soleil last weekend.
Was there a contortionist in that show? Because there are often contortionists.
Yeah,
in
there
the
was
Cirque du Soleil
there was
shows.
all kinds of
So
there was
these guys are
acrobats.
probably going to get lots of work and
Right.
stuff like that.
But it's not their own show. That's why
Exactly.
they shouldn't win this
It's
competition.
a show with multiple performers.
But it makes
Right.
good TV to watch them bend
right,
like that.
Right, of
and
course.
she may get picked up. So if Circus Soleil comes calling that particular one girl, should she quit the competition and go touring with Circus Soleil?
Yes,
You mean Gumby?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she should.
I think so. But and the thing also to go with this point is after the girls we had the contortionist sisters, and again they were 2 contortionists. I still found the girls better because the 4 of them can make more shapes and do more and be more entertaining than these 2 girls.
It was the episode of contortionism.
It was the extorting contortionists.
Like I can't
Extortionists. Wait, no, that's a
do
word.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, so we had them, and so then to go back a little bit, we had Jungle John. He was in
Was
the
that the
weird
Spider-Man?
creature. No, that was Arlo. Arlo had
Oh.
spiders on him. Then Jungle John had cockroaches on him. He put the cockroaches in his mouth. That was his talent. He got a no.
Yeah, I didn't even pay attention to that one.
Right. Yeah, it was just going by.
If your
so
talent
quick.
is putting insects in your mouth, my question to you is, what is your talent?
Eating,
Not dying,
but don't,
not throwing
like,
up.
don't they eat a
Defy
lot
death.
Of,
Yeah, there you
don't
go.
they eat a lot of grasshoppers and things like that?
Yeah,
in
you
the Far
can eat
East?
that stuff. So it's
And Angelina Jolie's children love them.
Right.
And they snack on them like popcorn.
probably
Yeah,
sounds about
I
right.
think it's normal, but
You're
I
right.
think it's just eating. I think that's your talent.
Right. Exactly. Well, speaking of talented eating, we then get what I was calling Cisco on stage. And
looked
he
more
ate,
like-
he ate cacti. That was
Yeah,
it.
But that's dangerous.
It's dangerous,
See,
but not talented or
I'm gonna have to
entertaining.
defend him because I describe talent as something that not everybody can do. Your average person cannot do that, and I don't know the percentage of people in this world that can actually just sit there and eat cactus like it's a sandwich.
You can, you just don't want to.
But I mean, actually swallow it, digest it.
You can, you just don't want to. They showed him afterwards.
you eat
he had
cactus?
spiked. Yes, I can. I'm not going to because it's painful and I'm not stupid. But I can do it.
You can.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to
You should do it.
tear your esophagus every once in a
Right.
while.
You have to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
feels
mean-
good.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to feel pain to feel joy.
With no, what did Frederick Douglass say? There is no forward progress without struggle or
And-
eating cactus.
It's true. And also, what did the theme song to Hey Dude on Nickelodeon say? Watch out for that killer cacti.
And what did Harrison Ford say?
I believe Harrison Ford said, "Get off my plane."
You guys are missing the big
Well
point
done.
here. What
We
did
got
the
it in.
fox say?
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
All right. So
But the Spider-Man, it was disturbing. He wasn't disturbing, but the fact I could I would freak out if there were tarantulas crawling over my face. And I feel like he could have gone through if people weren't always so afraid of spiders. But
right. Well, the other thing is he said they were all dangerous, poisonous spiders, but he said that I can say that this is a poisonous phone and I'm putting it on my face and no one else can do that. That doesn't mean that it is. Putting 5 tarantulas that are not poisonous, to me, is not a talent, and it's not a big death-defying feat. So just by saying that they're poisonous means nothing. If he brings someone out, the spider kills that man, and then he puts 5 on his face, then I'm going to say, that was talented.
That was impressive.
Yes, well done.
And my condolences.
Yes, sorry about your friend that's dead, but it was very talented. Now, this, unless we have anyone else you guys want to bring up, I'm going to bring it to our last act of the night.
Hold on. Can we talk about the guy jumping over the speeding vehicles,
Oh, yes,
man?
the human spring.
Yeah.
He wasn't a contestant, but he was going for a world record in between the show on Sunday. They didn't show it tonight, but on Sunday, they showed him in between some of the commercials getting ready. He was trying to break a record of jumping over 3 cars speeding at him in the least amount of time.
And it was filmed on the Paramount lot, clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you catch the type of car that were doing that?
It looked like an Aston Martin or something.
Yeah, it was something really fancy. I wonder if there was some product placement going on there.
Probably.
Of course.
Must have been,
yeah,
right?
I mean, pretty much like the Snapples that all the judges have, you know. But no, I mean, I was impressed. That's just sheer athleticism right there.
I could not do that.
Well, that's true, because they say white men can't jump.
You guys can't
So
jump.
anyways.
You can't jump over cars?
I can, but,
I mean,
you know.
Well, then we're going to have to go outside.
That's the new rage. That's the new rage. Like, CrossFit is over.
Right, just
Car
jumping
is
car
the
jumping.
new thing.
There's no way that can go bad.
No, but it was sad because he was setting out to break a world record and he missed it by like just under a second.
You know what it did? If he would have cut his dreads off, that would have been the half a second.
More
that he would've got back.
aerodynamic.
Exactly. It's all physics.
True.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point. It was probably weighing him down a little bit.
It really
might have.
was. Yeah.
Also, hitting his knee on one of the cars might have slowed him down a little bit.
He did do that.
He did. It didn't hurt him, thank God.
Nicked his
but-
knee. I was like, oh my God. And flipped over it. Anyways. That was one of the more impressive acts of the whole dang night to me.
Really, it's the most exciting thing.
Yeah.
that
I would
saw,
like to see
probably.
more of him.
Right? What is he going to jump over next?
Right.
A tractor?
So let's go into Frank Dimitri, who is a 74-year-old singer. He comes out. They say, what do you like to do? He says, well, I'm retired. I like to walk and I like to sing. They said, is that what you're going to do? He said, yes. And he did it very well.
Yes, he did. He was like the reincarnation of Dean Martin. I felt like he was in the Rat Pack. And his voice was so, for being 74 and being a bartender, which probably means he probably drank a little bit, like his voice was so incredibly intact and beautiful.
Start spreading the news.
More beautiful than that.
Well, everything's more
I'm
beautiful than
leaving
that.
today.
And that.
Yep.
I'm gonna be a part of it.
And for the last act of the evening,
New York.
I thought he was great. And my thing is, again, I'm not that big on singers, and I always say it's nothing different. Nobody sounds like him. Nobody's doing it, at least. I'm sure there's a lot of older singers that either made it or didn't, but they're still out there, but no one's out there trying. And I thought that Frank was great. He sounded great. I would listen to it.
Yeah, I really, really hope he does well in this competition because I think it's awesome that a 74-year-old has the guts and the gusto to go out there and be like, I'm going to start a new career for myself.
Right.
Yeah.
He was
I
a
think that's
bartender for so long. Now it's his time to pursue his singing. And honestly, for me, this is what the show is about. An 11-year-old can wait 5 years, practice her singing, hone it, then start doing shows and be seen. Nobody is going to show up to see a 74-year-old singer they've never heard of. But if they see him on the show, then they'll want to go see him. He can't just go do coffee shops and little clubs. And
He could do some senior citizen houses or some, convalescent homes. some retirement.
Now you're just
centers.
insulting him. Like
Yes,
that
you're
guy
being
could
rude.
he could have a Vegas show. He
Dude.
really could, and people would go and see it.
Hey, calm down over here, elderly.
And he could mix a Mean Manhattan while he's singing it.
It's very true. He can
Rat Pack
be
tune.
a lounge singer who is also a cocktail server. Here's the thing, Kevin.
I think you
when
guys
you're
are-
being funny on a podcast, when two guys tell you that they're being serious, no matter whether they're serious or not, they win.
Being serious is funny.
Right.
All right.
Okay. First of all, when
For
does this come
serious.
into?
You're in the
How to
middle,
be
you're gonna
funny
get
on a
picked on.
podcast 101. Okay.
Well, if you check my course out at the Y, Being Funny on a Podcast 101, you can find out all the tips and tricks. Check it out on Being Funny on a Podcast.
And what are the
on Twitter.
prerequisites to get into this class?
None. You can't.
Drink and smoke heavily, so when you get in there, you have no idea what your instructor's talking about.
I'll have you know, sir,
That
I have been
sounds like
sober
kids
for
today.
31 years.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Good
Yeah.
for you.
Sober
Thank you.
from intelligence. So, anyways, moving
Really?
back.
Wow. It
Really?
is getting awkward and heated. in
Really? Buzz Aldrin?
here.
Buzz who? Buzz Lightyear?
That's the second man to walk on the
You're
moon.
not helping
know.
yourself whatsoever.
Whatever. That's what makes this show all the more fun is Kevin's ignorance. So
Does it? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's do some predictions
Whoa,
real
whoa,
quick.
we have one more act to talk about.
Do we?
Yeah. It was the
He was the
rock hard
finale.
review.
I was trying to just put that
So-
out of my mind.
Oh yeah, I mean I understand. I paid attention, but I wasn't really
course you
trying
did.
that hard. But it happened. There seems to be an insurmountable number of shirtless male acts this year, and every time that they come on, Heidi is like blushing or she's covering her face. Like
That's
she's-
why they do it.
Yeah,
Heidi
they're
likes
just, like,
men.
panning on Heidi, and that's all she's doing. And also, I think the other weird part is I feel like Howie has some sort of like dude complex because every time a shirtless dude comes out, he takes his shirt off and wants us to look at his 50-something-year-old man tits.
I think he knows that
Oops,
it's
man
funny.
boobs.
Well, either way.
All right.
I think he knows that it's funny to do for him to take his shirt off, and it's a cheap gag and a cheap laugh.
But
and
he's done it 20 times.
well,
and the
anytime
show
that
just
he
started
gets
well.
a chance to do it, he's going to.
I guess it never gets old.
I
You
think
know
he
what I
should
mean?
stick to comedy and germophobia because that's what
I
he's
agree.
good at.
I don't know. I mean, I thought his taking the shirt off shtick is actually going over well with the hearts of America.
Okay, we have differing opinions tonight, all of us.
It's
That's
a
good, that's
very
good.
different, interesting show. Guys, again, thank you so much for checking us out. We will be
Oh,
back
we also
next
forgot to
week.
talk about the one guy. I'm joking. Go ahead.
I'm going to throw the book at you, Kevin.
Hey, man. Hey, Daniel.
chance-
Guys,
get
thank you
shit.
so much.
I know, right?
Please check us out. We will be back next week. Check us out on the Twitters. Where can we find you, fellas?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HeyKevinJohn or on my website, itskevinjohn.com.
Twitter and Instagram at Branden J Music, and I just got Snapchat too at
Ooh,
Branden J
fancy.
Music, BRANDENJ Music, or check out www.brandenjames.com for all the latest and greatest.
Nice. You can check me out on my brand shiny new Twitter. It's Daniel Weiss. You could also check out my improv group on Facebook, Doctor Who Live. And if you'd like to see some fun family pictures of Kaori, check Kaorius out at Kaorius on Twitter.
And Instagram.
And Instagram.
Yeah,
And
she,
also-
she has a special picture up for all her fans.
You
Also,
guys
not
are
safe for
awful.
work. So,
I
guys,
have no
thank
part
you
of
so
this.
much, and have a great night.
Harrison
From
Ford.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
It's not the years, honey. It's the mileage.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.